everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. We always get a lot of questions on how we first met, so I thought we'd do a little story time today, and I've actually been lucky enough to be joined by a special guest. If you would like to come through and join me.
It's me. Welcome, or thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. If you didn't know, this is my husband. His name is Luke Stoltman. I did like a Q&A on my stories, like a couples Q&A, and the majority of the questions was, how did you and Luke meet? How did you get together? What happened? Blah, 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 blah. So Luke has kindly given me some of his time, and we are going to do a little story time today. And that is my alarm for Luke's lunch.
Right, so let's start. So, tell your wonderful viewers how we met.
I think our stories are different from one another, but my version is, it must have been about 8 years ago or something now, I can't remember what year. I went to college with Luke's brother Tom, and we went to the gym one day, and then Tom's big brother was coming in, so Luke come in, and then he come straight up to me, and then he introduced himself as, hi, my name's Luke Stoltman, 2 or 3 times Scotland's strongest man, nice to meet you. Accurate?
It was very accurate at the time because it was a fact. I was very proud of my titles. But let's just chat a little bit about that first meeting, because I'd been told that there was a new girl in the gym. She wasn't from around here, and someone said, I think you're from London. I'm not sure. But you could tell straight away when you met you that you were a little smart arse. And with that being said, I couldn't just go up and say, hey, how's it going? Pleased to meet you. So I had to act a little bit more confident than I normally am. I had to be assertive. Because guys, if there's any guys watching this, that's what women need. They need some assertiveness. I don't know if that's what they need at all, but anyway, that's what I thought. So I did go up to you and say, yeah, pleased to meet you, I'm Luke Stoltman, Scotland's strongest man, whatever. And then you said,
not for long, because your brother's going to take over.
Yeah, so your brother's stronger than you or something like that. So again, point in case right there that Kushi was a little smart arse, and she was very confident and very sure of herself.
I think it's always good to be confident, but if you approach someone like that, you're going to get, oh hi Mr. Stoltman, nice to meet you. No, you're going to get something back, aren't you, if you approach someone like that?
I've never been, oh hi Mr. Stoltman, nice to meet you. No one's ever said that.
But have you ever approached someone and said, like, oh, I'm Luke Stoltman, 3 times Scotland's strongest man?
Well, probably before you, there's about 20 other people that approached saying the same thing. Anyway, so we'd met in the gym. We were both, I think, in other relationships, whatever, so
nothing ever happened from that point. We just that was just the initial time that we met. And then I think it was a few years later, or would have been 2015, I think we started messaging on Instagram, and then Luke said, do you want to go for a training session or a PT session or something like that? And then I agreed, and
we were both single at this point as well.
Yeah, a few years later, our relationships ended, whatever. So he asked me to go for a training session, so I said, yeah, that's fine. So then we went to a gym in Inverness, and Luke chose squats to do as our training session, and he was very good at spotting me. But then we decided to go, so we did our training sessions, and then we decided to go for breakfast straight after, because it was in the morning. And then conveniently, Luke left his wallet, so I had to pay for breakfast. I'll always remind him of that. That was pretty much it. Goes into a lot further detail, but I actually have this all tracked down because I always write diaries. So I remember being really excited that I've met a guy and I really like him and blah, blah, blah. And I didn't obviously know at the time when you first meet someone like how it's going to go, but I think from that day onwards we were inseparable. Every day we were meeting up with each other, seeing each other and stuff like that. But I had it booked to go to Australia 3 weeks after we initially went for that training session, our first date or whatever you want to call it. And I think it was a bit uneasy for the both of us because I wanted to go travel Australia and do the whole like touring thing or whatever, and I don't think you were that keen for me to go do that.
No, I wasn't keen.
Not that you weren't keen,
No,
but
I just missed you, that's all. I just would have missed you.
yeah.
And like I wanted you to have a good time and do whatever you wanted, but I think we both, the feeling was both quite mutual that we missed each other.
Yeah, and I had it booked to go to Australia to go, like, you know, work in a bar and do all that kind of that stuff. And then we were together, but it was very new that we were together, so we didn't know, you know, how it was going to go. So then Luke come down and he dropped me off at the airport along with my sister. And Luke said he's going to come out and see me. I was like, yeah, that'd be amazing. Like, it'd be great if you come out. I didn't actually know that he was actually then going to come out. And then Luke ended up selling his car. You sold your, what car was it? The wholesale car.
I had a Range Rover Sport that I really enjoyed, and then I sold that.
To buy your tickets to come out and see him in Australia. So he booked his tickets. I was already out in Australia. We were on FaceTime and stuff like all night. I think in like 8 hours, like he would sleep and I'd be on FaceTime and I was sleeping and he'd be on FaceTime, all that cute lovey-dovey stuff. So after that, Luke had to stay actually because he had Scotland's Strongest Man and he wanted to defend his title. That's why he didn't come out with me. So then after that, that was 5 weeks. And then Luke come out to Australia and then, do you want to say what happened?
I came out to Australia and then Kush and I guess was your cousin met me at the airport with a nice wee cute sign. It was really nice to see each other again. We've been apart for a while, and even though it was that new, it was still very intense. I think the feelings that we had. I think the first day we went there, I got my Kushi tattoo on my chest, and Kushi got my name tattooed on her buttocks.
On my body, you could have said.
Well, you said it, but it wouldn't be the truth. So this is a truth time and story time. And then from there, you know, we spent every day together, obviously out in Australia. We ended up going out to Bali for a little holiday there, nice and chilled.
But before that?
Yeah. What do you mean before we got engaged?
Yeah, so we...
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, carry on.
No, I was just saying, yeah, we did that, but then and during that time as well, Kush and I actually got engaged and we were going to get married when we went out to Bali, but then our family intervened and said it might not have been the best idea, which looking back on it probably wasn't, but we were quite carefree and I guess quite selfish, or just, you know, in love and just having that selfish love romance and stuff. And so I ended up getting the engagement ring in Perth, Australia, in the same shop as Kushi's granny got her engagement ring. So, you know, there was that nice connection. Proposed to Kushi at your auntie's house.
So my mother's South African and my dad's Scottish, and it was my dad's Scottish family that I was out in South Africa with. But then my mum has family in Australia as well. Did I say that right?
Probably not.
My dad has family in Australia, my mum has family in Australia. So we all combined it at a family barbecue. And that's when Luke proposed. And then we had our families in the background on the phone and stuff who were over the phone. I don't think FaceTime exists, or it was like Skype, but then I can't remember when. And yeah, Luke proposed. But before that, like our families intervening and getting a bit freaked out because my mum had never met Luke. I've never met Luke's family, apart from Tom, obviously. And yeah, they weren't very happy of how we wanted to quickly get married. We actually had it booked and arranged and we just needed one witness. But yeah, it was my dad that kind of said you don't want to meet Luke's family on bad terms. And at that time, Luke's mum was going through a lot of treatment and stuff like that. So I think for us, that's what really stopped it. And looking back on it now, the wedding that we did have, Luke's mum was able to attend the wedding, and all those memories and footage and everything that we have of her, I'm really glad that we did it that way. But yeah, that's how we met. So we got engaged after 5 weeks, intended to get married after 5 weeks. Our families smartly stopped it, but then we ended up going to Bali, China, South Korea, Vietnam, can't remember where else. So we got engaged and we just travelled and stuff in between the time that Luke was working. And in this time off we just travelled, which was incredible. We got a dog, and then I think it was after like 7 months into it, we were kind of back and forth And then after like 7 months, we arranged the wedding. We wanted to have it a bit sooner rather than later because we knew that Luke's mum's health wasn't in the best of situations. So we got married after, I think it was 7 months after being together. Something along those lines, but that is the crazy story of how we got together.
And you want to know what? See if there's anyone out there watching this, if you're a guy or a girl and you're with someone and you're feeling emotionally connected, you're feeling loved up, you're feeling all these strong connections, don't be scared to admit to the other person, because that's what I found. I didn't know how Kush felt about me. I remember telling her I loved her before she went to Australia, so it was like 3 weeks after. I knew I loved her, I knew I was obsessed with her, besotted with her, all the rest of the stuff. So don't be scared to admit your feelings, guys and girls. That's my little bit. I think that's a good point to make.
It's always good when it's mutual though. If you're just like a guy that's just having somebody love them and the woman's a bit like, well, I met you 2 weeks ago and she's not feeling the same way. But then, the feeling was very mutual.
But then would you rather go through your life worrying or thinking, oh, does she love me, does she not? Or does he love me, does she not? At least then you know. If it's reciprocated, then boom, that's it. Happy life.
Yeah.
Get together, have lots of fun times together. And that's that. So, no, I think our relationship at the start was very much a whirlwind. We came back, we didn't have anywhere to stay. This house was getting built at the time. So we were staying with your mum and dad.
Yeah, we weren't homeless.
No, but that's what I'm saying. We didn't have a place to stay as such because this house was still getting built. Then we went out to South Korea for my work. And then, like you say, we kind of travelled about the place. And yeah, it's been pretty mad ever since, to be honest.
People are quite surprised at the story as well when we tell them. It's quite funny. So when we come back from Australia, Luke met my parents, or my mum, for the first time as my fiance. So that was pretty awkward, an awkward car ride home, like a 3-hour car ride home. But,
she said I was handsome when she met me, so I was nice.
I think she was scared of you because you're like 3 times.
She said, well done, Kushalia, you've finally got a handsome guy. That's what she said.
Are you sure?
Along those lines, I think, anyway, it doesn't matter. It is what it is.
That's our little story though, of how we met. I don't know if there's anything else I need to put in there.
No, why you keep doing that to me?
I don't know. I'm not as natural as you on the camera, that's why I keep looking there rather than the actual camera.
No, I think that's pretty much it. And then, obviously, when we met, we get a few questions about different cultures. Obviously, Kush is a different religion, culture, whatever you want to call it. From me, I got raised very different from Kush, and vice versa. Kush got raised in London. You then moved up, like you said, with your dad, and I guess you fall in love with the Highlands of Scotland and the landscape here, and it's still very much. We went to a wedding back down in London a couple of years ago to see one of your good friends get married in the Hare Krishna temple. So for me personally, it's a massive eye-opener because I was quite not closed off, but up here in the Highlands there's not much alternative or different whatever cultures going on. So I really like to immerse myself in that when I do have the opportunity, and I think it's great. Your mum and dad, Raga and Douglas, they're great people. Your mum makes a mean vegetarian curry, which is very tasty, and your dad is he gets my mind going, very kind of, what's the right word, I don't know, philosophical.
He's very smart.
Very smart, yeah, so it's nice, to be welcomed in the family as much as I did, or as much as I was incredible.
Come to Africa to see my family.
So it's been
very culturally different, but also learning curves as well. Like Luke's dad, like he's a big hunter, and I'm born and bred a vegetarian, so our cultures don't really combine in that way, but it's just a mixture of opinions, and you just like respect each other's opinions and cultures and stuff, and that's just the way it's all gonna work. That
is everyone should be doing, is respecting each other, regardless if you are different religions, different cultures, from different parts of the world, different working classes, whatever. It doesn't matter a hoot, because you should have respect for each other and love each other and just don't get so uptight and all this stupid stuff. Anyone getting too political. Anyway, that is what it is. Sorry for taking over your YouTube channel.
You okay?
Yes. Sure.
So thank you very much for watching our little story time of how we met. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much for my special guest for joining me, helping me tell this story. And we will see you in the next one. Please comment on what you want to see next, like and subscribe and all that good stuff. I read everyone's comments and the love and support has been overwhelming. So thank you once again. Is there anything else that you want to say?
Stay spicy.